How you doing today?
Smile.
That's not good.
Smile.
What's up, beautiful? Have a good day. Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Somebody's acknowledging you for being beautiful. She said, hey, Hey, baby. Hey, beautiful. How are you this morning?
You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to me. This is iWalter on Saturday, August 29th. Yeah, you know what? I hope people got a good listen to what I just started out playing tonight. There was a specific reason why I did this, because I get sick and tired of these women who you just look at them and give a smile. They're looking at you like you're a creep. I mean, it's just so irritating. I was at work tonight. This one girl who, you know, I'm going to admit she's very attractive. I said this to a friend. It's like somebody, yeah, I would love to like hang out with her or something, but she's just so irritating. She worked overtime tonight, and I deliberately made sure not to go into any room she was in by herself, because I honestly don't want to hear that, you know, oh, you're a stalker. I've heard this in the past. This was back in college where some girl, I went and had taken her a movie, and then she turned around and told a friend, my friend Matt, that I had made a pass at her. And I even said it to my mother, and she said, well, what's wrong with that? You're a man. You know, men make passes at women. I didn't, though. That's the problem. That is the major issue. So I don't want to deal with this. So I avoided this girl all night. I eat at a cubicle. I sit in a small fucking hole. And lo and behold, the very end of the night, I was talking to some guy at work, and you know, I was just telling him, hey, you want to buy my computer? Because now I figured out that some place that, you know, refurbishes your computer and they resell it for you, was willing to give me, for my old Mac, $425. It was like, hey, you know what? If this is legit, that's the way I'm going to go, because I'm having no luck on eBay right now. Everybody's waiting until the last minute to try to get it for the lowest price, not realizing there's a bunch of people who are going to bid besides them. That's fine, but then you got to pay all those service fees. Anyway, that's not the point. So this girl, she was talking, and she leaves early because she honestly just wants to avoid me, I think. I really do think that. So it's like, whatever. So I was talking to this guy, and I just see this guy was talking to her. She's walking out, and she made sure not to wear, this is the one girl I talk about, she wears spandex all the time, except when she knows I'm in. So when she's walking out the door, I'm like watching her while she's talking to this guy, because she's walking out the door, and she sees me looking at her, so she pulls her shirt quickly down over her ass. And it's like, you know what? Where does the grown-up issue start to begin? I mean, I'm not a creep. You heard this fucking stuff in the beginning of this show. That's creeps. These are people on the streets who say, hey, baby, and stuff like that. I never do that. I've never done that. So the bottom line is, it just really irritated me. It ruined my whole fucking weekend now. Just that one woman just ruined my whole weekend. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit with these people. I really am. So anyway, I apologize. I just started out very irritated and very worked up because of that. And I get that all the fucking time, though. So, hey, you know, women seem to like creeps, and they think they're normal, but you know what? Good luck. Live your life like an asshole. So it's not me. And I hate this job I work at, you know, while you're probably saying, well, why don't you just quit? Well, I won't have to quit, because eventually I won't have a job to go to with the way people are acting. But I go in there, and it's just irritating. People look at me like I'm some type of asshole. And it's like, well, you're the one who just keeps on pushing my buttons over and over again, different people, particular people, and they're the ones who react to me on doing nothing wrong. I'm like literally doing absolutely nothing wrong. So it's just so irritating. And you try to talk to even the higher ups, like management and stuff. They don't want to hear it. I try to mention to management certain issues I'm having because obviously they're not getting addressed with anybody else. And by me doing so, they basically gave me, and I had it 3 times already, they basically patronize you and act like they're going to do something about it. But you know what? When push comes to shove, they're going to do jack shit. So, and that gets really fucking old. I mean, you know what? And I told this one higher up guy, I said, listen, these are issues I've noticed. I'm concerned because I told him right out, I said, listen, you don't have to take me seriously, but I said, you know what? If the next time you people get a problem with something, and they basically, what do you call it? They basically say, okay, we're just going to send everything down south. Don't be surprised because you're the one who is actually just encouraging this stuff. Because how do you react when I try to bring, really serious issues up with people that need to hear this stuff? They basically blow you off and they patronize you. So guess what? Continue to do that. So when our job gets sent south, you can remember, hey, there was this one guy who did kind of give us a heads up that, you know what, there are some issues here that really need to be addressed, and we did not address them. So guess what? We're all out of jobs. So congratulations. I made it that clear to some people at my job, but obviously nobody wants to listen. So good luck with that, you know? Obviously, you don't want a job, and your self-centeredness will pay off someday when we're all like out on the streets without a job. So, congratulations. Keep up the good work of doing nothing, and then blaming me or who knows who else you do this shit to besides me. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm not going to take all the credit because I'm sure there's other people that you like to think that they're the reason why your job is so bad. It's not because of you, though. It's because of somebody else. So continue to live in that fantasy world and see how far it takes you someday. Because when you're out in the street without a job, you know who to thank then. Or who to blame, I should say. And it's obviously not going to be me. So you're going to try to. But that's not going to even float like shit in water. It's not going to take you anywhere. So good luck with that. Anyway, I just had to say this. I did want to play another soundbite. Maybe I'll wait till a little later on in tonight's show. Because it was actually this movie. It's really creepy, but it actually kind of brought up some questions too. Hey, before I go any further with that, I want to close this one out too. Oh God, I don't have my glasses, unfortunately. So I'm going to pause until I get my reading glasses. I'm taking a pause right now. All right, I don't need to tell people that I'm back, but I am anyway because I got my reading glasses. On the same line of with these idiots who just think, these people who think I just stalk out women and these women are just so helpless. They know whom they are. This was another thing. This was Norristown nighttime curfew. Please consider the safety of our children. So, I mean, this is how bad it's gotten that Norristown police now it says Norristown Police Department. This was 17 hours ago. They had to post something on curfew times. That's how bad this area has gotten. So I assume in some way it's all my fault. If it wasn't for Walter, I mean, I hate to say this. I've said this before. We got a nutcase who lives next to me. This woman's daughter moved home, and she is so paranoid that we thought she went on vacation today. She covered up, I'm not even kidding, she covered up all her windows. And I asked my parents, why is this house so shut up? Like, literally, she has like this little storm window for her kitchen. It's like really tiny. Well, she covered it up. Like, you can't see, it's like no light coming through the entire house. it almost makes me question if the police ever go in there, are they going to find like dead bodies of people or something because she's doing something? I mean, that's not normal. I'm sorry. I've never seen somebody. I know you cover up windows a little bit for privacy or just for sunlight, but this was crazy, and there was no cars home, so we assume one car was home. The other car was came home later because when I got home, it was there, and it was like, okay, we thought we were on vacation, but I don't even do that. Like, I'll put blinders down or something if I go on vacation for a couple of days or a week, but not like this. I mean, they literally blacked out the windows almost. Not blacked out. They covered them completely that you couldn't even, if you walked up to the window, you wouldn't see anything because on the pane itself, it was covered. And I'm not even just talking like a few windows. I'm talking them all. That's not normal behavior, folks. That's somebody who's got some really strange mental issues. And that's beyond OCD. So anyway, I'm going to go back to this. I want to get all this crap out of the way first. It says hours established exceptions, but it's actually from the Norristown Police Department. They posted this on Facebook for the local area. It states, it shall be unlawful for any minor to be or remain in or upon any public highway, park, or other public place within the municipality, or in any enclosure or vehicle which is on or in close proximity of any such public place within the municipality between the hours of 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. on the following days and 12 midnight to 6 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. Exceptions to the above are the following. Now, this is because it's gotten really serious. This is why they're doing this. A minor accompanied by a parent, guardian, or other person having legal care or custody of such minor. Minor possession, a written statement dated that day and signed by parent, guardian, or other person having the legal care or custody of such minor, which statement specifies the time, place, purpose, and necessity of the minor being in a public place contrary to this article. Now that's there's four of them, A, B, C, and D. I already just read the first two, A and B. C is minor lawfully employed making it necessary to be on or in highways, streets, parks, etc., as stated above, and possession a current letter certifying the same and signed by employer, parent, or guardian. So they can't even be out unless they have a written documentation that says, yeah, they're out beyond this point, especially weekends after midnight, because they would have to, if they would have to have a written thing by their place of employment which will allow them to do this. And the last one says minor on an emergency errand. So why would the police put this automatically in effect? They're saying, oh, it's for their protection. They're the ones who are causing the problems. So it's the other way around. They just can't say that. So guess what? They had to change it so they wouldn't get in trouble. But the writings on the wall, that just means these idiots, these kids who have no discipline, and now are going to be enforced by law enforcement. So I'm glad, because I get done work at 12:30, and every night I come home, I have to look at that again. I just closed it out. But every night I come home, I got to deal with these idiots, and they're mostly kids. Now they're making a big deal out of it, so good. I'm completely glad to see that they're finally putting their foot down about this. Let's see if I can find it. I got all this Patty Mullen stuff open now. She's really cute, but she's a lot older than when she did Frankenhooker. Yeah, I can't find it now. But I wish I would have kept that page open because of the curfew thing. But you know what? So go ahead. Blame that on me, too. Everything else gets blamed on me, folks. I'm not saying the people that listen to me or Matt. I'm just saying in general, blame it on me because everything else gets blamed on me. So it's always my fault. This is something that we never had before. We never had this in my 48 years of growing up. Okay, yeah, between the hours of 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. So that means basically that's when I always have the problems during the week. I work Monday through Friday, and they're racing up and down the street, these freaking kids. Even when school starts, it's the last week for them to do it, but now they're really enforcing it now that they can't do it even if they're not in school. It doesn't specify the ages, by the way. And it says Friday and Saturdays. It's from 12 midnight to 6 a.m. That is perfect because there are the times that is when I have issues coming home every night. So, yeah, that's going to stop now, I hope. Because if they're caught on the road, they're going to go they're going to get a nice fine or go to jail. So I'm like ecstatic. I'm very pleased. So anyway, I'm trying to keep this tone because I had some other things that are pretty funny, but I got to just wean myself back into it, I guess, at this point. There was this article. It was on the dailymail.com UK, and it said, it's basically, I'll read the title. It says, questions raised over shock in West Bank image of a boy with a broken arm being held at gunpoint by an Israel soldier after girl 13 seen bitten attacker is revealed as a prolific Hollywood star. So apparently, though, this whole thing is what I'm gathering, if I'm reading this correctly. The whole thing looks staged. I mean, you look at the pictures, there's a fucking cameraman in the back almost. I mean, not a cameraman, but he looks like, one of the film crew kind of things. So literally, this whole thing, I don't know why, but it looks completely staged. And that's what the question is in this article, by the way. So, because this girl she's got they gave her a nickname because she's found in other of these videos and shots, this 13-year-old girl, and they gave her a nickname because she just shows up. And obviously, these people are not really like real terrorists, apparently, is what I'm gathered. I might be reading this completely wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. But everything looks pretty much staged. I don't know what the reason behind it is. I'm looking for what they nicknamed her. It was kind of funny almost. But yeah, again, it just looks completely staged. What is the name? I apologize. I'm not going to try to pause it right at this point because I wanted to play this caption. That's why I'm trying not to. Yeah, they just say a prolific Hollywood star. Surfaced, clad. Okay. There was somewhere in this article, by the way, where they nicknamed her for showing up on these things. It's not that important, actually. I just thought it was kind of funny. It is on the Daily Mail. Yeah, I'm not going to even bother to read the article because honestly, I'll read some captions maybe or whatever. Maybe I'll go back to the top. I'll do that. That might be actually the best thing to do. Israel soldier was pictured pinning boy to the floor with a machine gun held up near his cheek in the West Bank. But the gunman is ambushed by a young girl who forces the weapon from his hand, and then there's two women in this picture. There's a lot of pictures who claw at his face. The girl's pictures is believed to be Ahid Tamaya, who is parents. Well, you know what? I'm not going to bother, but are basically these Palestinian activists. She has appeared in a string of similar videos. She confronts Israel soldiers and once won a bravery award. Clash happened during the demonstration against Palestinian land confliction to expand nearby Jewish settlement. They gave her like some kind of weird name. I wish I could actually find it because I almost thought it was, again, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I wasn't going to do this, but maybe I will pause it just to read off her name. So give me a moment to look for that. All right. Hey, it's iWalter. Well, I'm back on. Welcome to me again. Yeah, you know what? I couldn't find it at first. It took me a while. I had to kind of glance through it. I'm not reading it, the way I should read this article. But this whole thing it looks like it's a Palestinian propaganda thing, trying to make the Israel people look like they're the terrorists. So they basically staged these kids, the same kids apparently, more than once, these Palestinian kids being attacked by the Israel army, and the kids defending each other like this brother and sister. And they call her Shirley Temper. Now, I just lost it. I'm not going to take another pause because it's going to take my night up and my weekend. So, yeah, they're calling her, like, basically, they gave her a stage name because it's basically is staged. The ones playing the Israel terrorists, or they're not, but the Israel attackers of these children are actually Palestinians themselves. So, basically, it's almost like what Hitler did. You're using propaganda to basically strengthen your position. So, yeah. It says she was handed this girl, some type of award for courage, but it's all staged. And they said online blogs have dubbed her Shirley Temper, this little girl. So, and now they're calling this stage stuff, showing these Israel, soldiers trying to defend themselves. They're trying to make them out to be like the bad guys, and how these kids and families are trying to protect each other from these bad Israel soldiers. I mean, but again, they're realizing this is all staged. There was I'm trying to look at, there's some photographs where you see the cameraman in the background, like it's all staged out. And it's supposed to be really happening, though. There's even one Palestinian, he's a camera. He's got a regular camera. He's taking photographs, publicity shots of something that's supposed to be really happening, though. So, I mean, it's just, they've actually subjected to, and it must be working, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, this was on Daily Mail. I mean, that's really bad. Yeah, I just had to read, there was some other story that caught my eye on the Daily Mail, because actually I have a brother who's not too far from there and his family. Maybe I'll just look at it real quick, but it says South Carolina teen who was reported missing by her parents is charged with filing false police report after telling officers she had been kidnapped and sexually assaulted. So apparently it was all bogus. I just love this. I mean, this is what, again, this goes back. Hello, I'm being victimized, and making false reports now is not the way to do it. Just to gather attention, or just because you don't want somebody to look at you. I don't know. Okay, that I interjected. That had nothing to do with what I just read. It just gets me really mad. I got to lighten this up a little bit for now. I've done this in the past. Here's one to just do it right away. I really like this. This is really light news. Do you ever remember the second Star Wars movie? I mean, the original ones. What is it? It's Empire Strikes Back with those big things in that snow planet. They almost look like elephants. That's the best way I could think of it. But basically, God, what is it? Those big things, they were fighting on the planet, the ice planet or snow planet, as I said. Those big things, those big elephant-looking things. I don't even know what they were called. Anyway, this kid or guy or whoever made this video, and it definitely lightens up the mood. I have to remember to lighten or like that page. But it is really entertaining. And basically, I wish I knew what they were called. Let me see if I can find it without destroying my page. Because without me explaining it correctly, it's just not going to make any sense. I like the way they numbered these too now. That really pisses me off. Okay, maybe I can figure out with these images. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's in them. I'm looking at the picture now, but it just doesn't really give the name for these things. They were really cool. To me, they just look like kind of some type of animal almost, but they were machinery. But yeah, they're not even actually saying what it is. But there was those things they had to like basically tie wrap their legs together. These big things. They were actually in the last one too. It just says screenshots. They're not actually giving what they are. Well, anyway, I thought it was a very ingenious idea, but somebody actually made like a little home video, and they made those things. You know, they were supposed to be really big, and they had to get, what do you call it? Because I'm not into the whole terminology with Star Wars, but they had one that was like basically it was like a dog. That was pretty funny. In fact, it's really funny, and I even actually lost it now. So, but it's set up like it's like a dog, like somebody's pet, and it like scratching underneath its neck. They take it out for a walk. This mechanical thing. But it's like a tiny one. It's a miniature size of the full-size one that were in the movies. And it's like playing with, I think, another animal, but they take it out and it actually, pisses on a fire hydrant in the one scene, and then it's like taking a shit. So the guy has to pick up the shit, but it's not even a shit. It's actually, what is that thing? Jabba the Hutt. It takes a shit, but what comes out of its ass is Jabba the Hutt, so the guy has to pick up the shit, which is Jabba the Hutt, and pick it up with a bag, because you can't, like, if your dog takes a shit, you got to pick it up. So it's called Star Wars Always at Day Afternoon. So I guess they're called AT-ATs. I don't know. I don't even know they had names, but it says at Day Afternoon. It's really fucking funny too. Awesome. At Day Afternoon, and it's like first it's curled up like a cat on a chair, and it's like licking itself and cleaning itself like a cat would, but then it acts like a dog too, where it's bathing itself. I don't know how they did this, but it's really cool. It's like here's a scene, it's playing with a little baby, and there's another, and then scratching and trying to go outside, because it has to use the bathroom. But whoever did this did a very good job. It's funny because even when it's pissing on the fire hydrant, it really looks like it's pissing. And it's playing with a dog. And it's chasing a squirrel. I'm just like telling you what I'm seeing as it's going on. The taking the shit is classic on this because it comes out as Jabba the Hutt. So, it literally, the way they framed it, the guy who did this, or kid or whoever, I got to give him a lot of credit because it really looks good. But it's funny. It's really cute. So that's my lighter story before I go back to my nasty stuff. I still want to do that soundbite for this movie, and there was a reason because it kind of made me think. That's the reason I want to play it because... maybe if I played a soundbite, I'm going to try to do it tonight. I can explain what it made me think about. Not about the movie, because it's really gross, too. I keep on seeing stuff. Okay, here is another thing, by the way. This was on GameZone.com. This is completely different than what I was talking about. It says Nintendo's next dedicated game system is called the NX. And I never even heard about this. It was like kind of a curveball. I mean, meaning that, they put out that Wii and that Wii 2, and it was like kind of stupid names anyway. But now they're going to put out a new console by next year, which isn't that far off, or halfway through this year. And it makes me kind of question, maybe the Wii was in the Wii 2, actually, maybe they weren't as popular as they thought they were going to be, because if they're already talking about making another entertainment system for Nintendo, I'm not saying it was a total failure. I'm just saying maybe it wasn't as popular. I thought it was a little bit too complex, even for me. I mean, it's those consoles like the Wii, the Nintendo systems, they're actually designed more for kids anyway, even though adults like them too. But that new one was just so complex. It was just like, you know what? Sometimes I buy this stuff and then I get rid of it because I get bored really fast. Well, this was one I didn't get bored of because I never really had an interest of buying it. I was like, you know what? I need to take Act 101 class, or not, I would have to take an entry-level class in college to figure out how to fucking use the console. So I never even bothered to do so. So, oh, this is funny. I got to send this to a friend. Sorry, there was another article in Daily Mail, and it says, exclusive, now that I've lost all my weight, I'm being hit on by old men. Sophie Simmons, Gene Simmons' daughter, discusses new attention that she promotes single. So she is really hot looking now. She lost a large amount of weight. She does look hot, and apparently she's attracted a lot of different older men as well, I guess. I don't know. But it looks like it's Gene Simmons' daughter. Let me see what it says. The stunner also said there is a difference between being curvy and being overweight. Okay, I didn't go all the way to the top, so that's pretty funny. Even that just alone was kind of funny. Sophie Simmons lost 10 pounds, that's it, in 2014 after she discovered she had several food allergies that were causing her waistline to grow. Now that she has shed the weight, the 22-year-old who is promoting her first single, Kiss Me, tells the DailyMail.com that she's getting attention from men not her of her age group. Well, I hate to say it. Now, my friend Matt, he's going to say, "Oh, that's not true." But what I'm about to say. But I know a lot of women, even big celebrities, like I'm talking Stern and Rush Limbaugh. They're married to girls that are women. They're married to women that are actually old enough to be their daughters. Actually, even younger yet. So I know, well, they got money, and that's the reason that happens. Well, you know what? In real life, it happens too. So don't forget that either. But you know what? I guess it's just the way you present yourself. If you come off as being standoffish and obnoxious, women will get attracted to that, even though they will deny it to their grave. She states, it feels weird because it's the older guys who are hitting on me. She said, I didn't think men that are my dad's age would ask me out, but they are now doing so, apparently. Well, do you ever think maybe it's not even that you're, look better now, but it also is because you're Gene Simmons' daughter? That might be a big thing there. It's not just that she is very attractive, don't get me wrong. But the fact that she's Gene Simmons' daughter, hello, that's, you don't see that, do you? I'm not denying she's very attractive. I've said that a million times. So I want to go to this. The one I'm going to try to play, it's called, it's on from Beneath the Underground, not the movie, but they had advertised it. They have an article in this movie called American Guinea Pig, Blood Shock to premiere at Housecore Horror Fest. So I want to play the audio thing because the thing is, it is really gross. Honestly, I was watching it at work, the preview, and I thought it would have been probably, it got underneath work's radar on the internet because honestly, I covered my eyes. So even listening to it might be just gross enough. But I will play that later on, just to let you know. God, it's almost 5 o'clock. I was going to read this, but there's really nothing to read. Something on Doctor Who, but it says Doctor Who tease. So I'm going to let that one. I'm going to scratch this one right now. This was pretty funny. I'm kind of calming myself down from being all upset tonight at work again. MoviePilot.com, Charlie Sheen would be Donald Trump's VP in a heartbeat. I just thought it was funny because I kind of put it on a friend's Facebook page, and then I wrote the comment, winning. It was a joke because, that was Charlie Sheen's thing. Along with his hashtag number Trump Sheen 16, Charlie Sheen has publicly declared his admiration for Donald Trump, claiming he would happily be a second in command if Trump would have him. See, this is the problem why I guess the media is tearing it apart, because if the celebrities are jumping on board with Trump, it is going to look like a circus freak, like a circus act. A circus act, yes. And that's going to be the problem. It's going to really be a problem. Let me see what's going on, because my thing's not advanced in the way I'd like it to, my my audio thing. So I'll make sure it's recorded. Okay, yes, it is. So, yeah, the response comes shortly after Owen Wilson likened Trump's... Yeah, it does say likened Trump's controversial statement to those which got Charlie Sheen dumped from 2.5 Men. So I'm not going to read anymore. It's not much, but I just don't feel like reading it. So if you want to read it, it's on MoviePilot.com. You're not missing anything, trust me. Here is one I made a joke at a guy at work. I didn't know where I found it. A friend sent it to me. Now8news.com has donate a testicle. The payout is for this is $35,000. It was like, God, I could lose one testicle and pay off all my my loans that I have right now. That'd be perfect. News 8 states, donate a testicle. The payout is $35,000. Need some extra cash? If you want to help the science community and line your pocket with a little bit of money, there are some unconventional ways to do this by selling your body to science. Below is a list that we found of the 5 most creative ways to make money by selling your body parts. And number 1 was sell your blood plasma, pays $20 to $50 per donation. Number 2 was donate your reproductive cells. The payout for eggs is $5,000 to $10,000 per donation. The payout for sperm is $30 to $200 per donation. Well, maybe instead of flushing it, I should just basically sell it and make some extra cash. Number 3 was lay in bed for 70 days straight. The payoff is $18,000. You know what? Some of the people at my job, they probably could do that. You actually have to lay in the bed for straight. You can't get up for a total of 70 days. It pays $18,000. Number 4 was donate a testicle, and the payout is $35,000. And number 5, enroll in a psychological experiment. The payout varies per program. I could probably do that because I've already got some nutcase history in my life, so maybe I could probably get paid for it now. So that was entertaining, I think. You know what? I don't know where I have this, so I see it again. It was on. Oh, it actually was on Hannity. Sorry, I thought the one I was looking at was actually Bill O'Reilly, and it was talking about Hillary Clinton. Oh, here it is. Yeah, actually, Sean Hannity must have been talking about Bill O'Reilly. I thought it was actually a Bill O'Reilly thing. And it basically states, well, okay, I thought it was, I must have made a mistake, because maybe it is Hannity. It's actually, let me see him. Yeah, I did like him. It's on Hannity's Facebook page. Terrorist cuts people's heads off, and that's what they do in the Planned Parenthood clinics. Today on Hannity, 2016 presidential candidate Mike Huckabee weighed in on Hillary Clinton's recent comment when she compared her GOP rivals to terrorists over their extreme views on women. So, do you see the point, though? She's comparing our, people on our side, I assume, for the GOP to terrorists, but yet she probably not. Well, she doesn't find any problem with Planned Parenthood where they are basically selling, these aborted babies for money. But they're literally like doing the same thing in a roundabout way. They're basically dissecting children. I mean, you can say, well, they're only fetuses. No, they're children, trust me. You can call a spade, but they're children. Speaking about children, this was really cute. I saw this on a woman's page, and it was like, it can't be that good. And it's these kids, Zay and Jojo. I don't know what nationality these kids are, but they are so adorable. And these kids are like making fun of, like, I guess their parents and how cheap they can be. So it says, how to tell if your parents are cheap. That one I almost would play, but there's some that you just have to watch it. These kids are adorable. And it's like putting their food in empty Tupperware bowls. The dad actually says, how old are you kids? And then one kid says, oh, I'm 7. The other kid says, I'm 9. And he says, well, when we go out to eat at, where they have discount night at this Sizzler, and they say you have to be 5 and 7, how old are you then? And the kid says, I'm 7, and the other kid says, I'm 5. So, and the kids like they're disgusted, and they said, well, your parents are cheap when they make you use basically dishwashing detergent to bathe in, to take your bath in. And there's some other ones, but these kids, it really was funny. It was. I'm not even making that up. Another one on kids, the Times Herald News, Montgomery County teens beat international competitors with auto wrap design. I misread this when I read it at work. These kids won, and they're really young. One's 14, the other one's 18, and one's from Harleysville, and the other one's from Collegeville. And they literally won a competition on where you basically, who can come up with the most creative design on like a wrap. Like my friend Matt would know what that meant. A wrap means putting like a custom designed sticker, so to speak. That's the easiest way I can say it. On your car. So basically it says from Collegeville, when the 2 Montgomery County teenagers entered a worldwide Instagram competition a week late, they never expected to win because they entered it late. I'm not going to mess up their names. They submitted a design for a Lamborghini wrap, a covering that sticks onto the car to protect its paint. The team basically, which participated in this luxury car rallies that raise money for charities, they basically won though. So that was really interesting. It's a little lengthy. I just don't want to butcher it up. I'm better when I just put things in my own words. So, hey, that's pretty clever. I mean, these kids, they're very young, but they actually did something. They entered a contest late, and they actually won. Speaking about late, let me see, because this would be oh, here we go. This is a good follow-up. This is around here. It was in the morning call. Now I got an advertisement. It's going on. But this teacher was tardy 111 times from his job. Now, he's going to get a suspension of pay. He makes this school teacher makes $90,000 a year, but he's not going to lose his job. And that's the only thing that this kind of dumbfounds people. It says, teacher who was late, again, 111 times, says he was eating breakfast. That was his excuse. So in Trenton, New Jersey, an elementary school teacher who was allowed to keep his job despite being late for work 111 times in 2 years. See, this is the whole thing about unions, too. Said Friday the breakfast is to blame for his tardiness. He's stated by saying, I have a bad habit of eating breakfast in the morning, and I lost track of time. 15-year veteran teacher Arnold Anderson told the Associated Press. So, yeah, it's the union thing, I'm telling you. In a decision field, August 19th, an arbitration in New Jersey rejected an attempt by Roosevelt Elementary School to fire Anderson from his $90,000 a year job, saying that he was entitled to progressive discipline. But the arbitrator also criticized Anderson's claim that the quality of his teacher outweighed his tardiness. He was late 46 times in the most recent school year through March 20th and 65 times in the previous school year, the arbitrator said. Anderson said he was 1 to 2 minutes late to school at the most, but he was prepared and was never late for class. I have to cut out eating breakfast at home, he said Friday. Well, maybe get up a little earlier, too, or just take your breakfast to work, you idiot. Anderson remains suspended without pay until January 1st. Well, at least that's somewhat good. But again, this is the problems with these unions, too. I'm in a union, and trust me, I do know. The message-seeking comment was left Friday with the school superintendent's office. The arbitrator found that the district failed to provide Anderson with a due process by not providing him with a formal notice of inefficiency or giving him 90 days to correct his failure before terminating his employment. Here we go. This is why I don't like this man anymore. Governor Chris Christie referenced the case in a tweet on Friday. Christie wrote, "I think I'm too tough on the teachers union." Oh boy, I'm not going to say anything. This is what we're dealing with in New Jersey. Anderson said that he was very upset, but he's to be suspended, but conceded that losing his job would have been worse. Well, he should lose your job. When he returns to school in January, I will be early, he said. Well, I'd like to see that because trust me, we've had people disciplined at my job and they do the exact same thing again, and even worse. They even do it worse. Okay, I'm keeping the guinea pig. I might even be able to do it tonight. I don't know yet. Our friend had two different articles, I think, but this is about a guy. This is a different story. I'm not going to say where it's from because I don't like the source. Police want to get hands on a Portland pooper. And a friend said it's because I've had that where I shit like I had no choice and it's got to shit on the ground. I know people who do that. Trust me, I'm not the only one. People in Portland, Oregon are raising a stink over a man who keeps defecating in public. The suspect, who was residents have nicknamed him the Portland Pooper, has been seen defecating all over southwest part of the city in the last few weeks. Locals think his crap attacks are not spontaneous. Okay, I'm not going to read anymore, but it's pretty funny. I've been there, done that, so not intentionally. Well, not. I had to do it intentionally, but it was, still unintentionally. Hey, this was pretty cool. This was on iHorror. Turn your pup into a werewolf with this muzzle. I'm like looking at it. I'm still perplexed because I can't tell where the muzzle begins and where the dog's face ends and where the dog's face ends, whatever. But this muzzle makes the dog look like not like a werewolf, but like a zombie dog. It's really scary looking. Sometimes man's best friend can be too much of a sweet, cuddly pushover. Well, you won't think those thoughts again once you strap this muzzle onto Fido, he will look like a full-on werewolf. The ideal behind the muzzle, of course, is to stop the pet from nipping and barking when he shouldn't be. This, however, will strike more fear into the hearts of passing strangers than even the most vicious bark. And it is really scary looking, by the way. I'm not even just saying that. It's very frightening. But it was on iHorror. Anyway, this actually looks pretty funny. I don't know if it's out or if it is coming out, but it is funny looking. It's picking on different horror movies, one of those deals again. And it's called Shrek, If You Know What I Did Last Summer, the 13th trailer. So it's got every freaking movie almost in there that's a horror one that people would know. I watched it. I would do the sound clip for that one because it is really funny looking, but I won't. Just figure I'd throw it your way. It's probably really bad, I know. American Horror Story, this is on Movie Pilot, by the way. American Horror Story creator Ryan Murphy gives confirmation that A show favorite will be returning, and yes, it's Jessica Lange. Yeah, she is returning. I thought they said she was not, but apparently, yeah, she's coming back for this upcoming season. It says, let's play the name game. Which beloved American Horror Story star has been confirmed to make a return to the series? Yep, that's right. Show creator Ryan Murphy has confirmed Jessica Lange, a.k.a. the baddest witch in town, will be back at some point in the show's future. I'm actually looking forward to Lady Gaga because I'm a big fan of hers. So, whatever. Angelica Houston, where did I get that name from? Jessica Lange, she did a really good job. I mean, I hate to say this, she's not as hot looking as she was when she did King Kong when I was a kid. Trust me, she was really hot then. Alrighty, you know what? I ran out of stories. So I thought I might have been able to prolong this a little longer. So I'm going to stop this probably again. And I don't know why it's not doing the wrap thing. But by me doing so, I will now, since I promised all night, once I can find it again, should be on this list because I had so much open up. Yeah, this movie called Housecore Horror. Well, it's not the name of the movie. It's going to be at Housecore Horror Festival Part 3 presents American Guinea Pig Bioshock. So I want to play that right now because, for one thing, watching the video, I can't do it. I'll just tell you right now. It's just really gross. But there's a reason why I want to play this, and it's not just to gross people out for the weekend. But listen to it and see what you think.
When the human body endures excessive pain and mental trauma, the brain releases serotonin, adrenaline, and endorphins to soothe the body and mind, oftentimes leading to a sense of euphoria. However, when these natural chemicals begin to exceed the body's own limits, it can lead to confusion, nightmares, and hallucinations. When this point has been reached, the body slips into a condition known only as blood shock.
Make us take out your voice box.
Alrighty, I just fast forward through that thing. I just put it up because I had the sound clip ripped. Why would I play something that grotesque? Even the audio of it, because I ripped the audio from the video. For one basic reason, because it actually did raise something in my mind. Everything that people don't want to think about is death. Natural death, not by not by some horrific nutcase ripping you apart, but by natural death. And it made me think, though, when I was going to do my whole show on this at first. Now I just can't. I lost that train of thought. But they said something about serotonin levels increasing to, like, you get to a point that kind of calms your body down and stuff. And you wonder, and then if it's extreme pain, that you basically just go into this, according to this movie, you go into this shock phase. It's just a fictional movie. But My thing is, I wonder, like, I hear about near-death experiences, coming back from the dead, and I'd like to think there is an afterlife. I try to believe that there is an afterlife, God and things like that. But the question that came to mind is, maybe when you get to that point, your body basically kind of calms you down to ease the pain that you're no longer going to be nothing. You're going to be like nothing. Like maybe there isn't no after. I hate to say this. I don't mean this because I try not to think that way. But maybe your body just gets you in such a calm state, make you believe, like when you're ready to, like your heart's going to stop beating, your brain's going to stop functioning. Well, most people actually, the brain's never been functioning to begin with, so that won't be a problem for them. But I mean, seriously, watching this, the thing that intrigued me, not that it's a really gross horror movie, it was just they brought up an interesting point of like, okay, maybe your body gets to the point before you die that these endorphins just like kind of kick in and kind of make you, if it's to the point that you're not going to breathe anymore. Maybe it goes to the next level. This is just my assumption from what I was thinking about, my theory, my hypothesis, whatever. I know that's not a good word. Matt, or correct me on that one. Hypothesis. That maybe your body just starts to make you hallucinate to think that, okay, somebody's out there. People that passed away, they're coming back to get me, to say, hey, everything's going to be okay. But that's all like the endorphins taking over or, your adrenaline, whatever. It's like, it's put you into that, you know what I mean? People that it puts you into that state that, what you think you're seeing really is not happening. It's all just a way of easing the pain that, your life is over. There is nothing after that. Because I honestly, I'll be quite honest with you, I hope that's not the truth. But watching this is what I got out of it, though. Watching that trailer, listening to the trailer, I'm sure it could do the same thing for a person. But that's honestly what I got out of it. Maybe this is like, when everything's over or about to be over, your body just kind of eases you out of, off the stage, so to speak. Like, okay, there is going to be nothing else, but there's going to make you believe that, so you won't be fighting or struggling with your last moments on this earth. Again, I mean, I like to believe when I watch those shows, which I haven't finished it out yet. Ghost Whisper, I like to think that, yeah, there is an afterlife, that this is only one plane on our existence. Like there's another plane you go to after this. Not an airplane. You probably don't know what I mean. You probably do know what I mean. I'm going to see if I can try to explain that one. I shouldn't have to, but I will. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, there's some articles. Afterlife communication planes. So, there was one thing that was brought up in even Ghost Whisper when I was watching it. I didn't watch the whole thing, that this is only one plane, that there's another plane, like another dimension almost after this life is over. There's another journey you're going to go on to. I love to believe that. I honestly do. Yeah, so I don't know, but it just brings that stuff to light, I guess. I don't know. So, anyway, other than that, folks, I didn't want to leave it on such a down note, but it just, some of that stuff kind of intrigues me, I remember when I was younger, before I was more interested in what other people think of me, I always thought, like, I remember being a little kid, and I would say to my parents, like, my grandparent, I wouldn't even say grandparents, but maybe one grandparent, my parents, I'd ask them, like, questions they didn't even know answers to, and I was like, well, this is a little too deep for us to answer. Like, okay, well, I guess when you're a kid, you're more like intrigued by everything. And like I would ask, okay, is there life after death? And, but I'd ask like, I can't exactly remember anymore, but I would ask like really complicated questions that they would like say, well, you know what, honestly, we don't know the answer to that. Ask theological questions. Does God really exist? What happens when you die? Reincarnation, something like that. I mean, I would ask probably questions that, bizarre, even like when I was 7 years old or something. Like I needed to know, what is the answer to this? Like, what is the answer to life? And I used to actually, I'm not even kidding, when I was a little kid, I used to cry myself to sleep almost every night, just thinking, okay, I mean, I probably thought way ahead of myself that I was already worried about death as a little kid. 5 years old. Like, your whole life's in front of you. But then I even thought about that. It's like, well, how long is your life? That's why it bothers me with people when they make life so difficult for you, because you got to remember that, you think your life is so long, especially a friend of me always mentioned this, when you're younger, you think you're going to be, life, the summers are really long. Like, summers seem like never end. It seems like, when am I going to grow up and stuff like that? And then when you grow up, though, you say, God, I wish I could go back to being a kid when days were like, seemed to be an infinity. Like, summers just seemed to never end. Going to school just seemed to take forever. Those days, when you get older, it just seems like the days are shorter. Like, for instance, like last couple nights, it even just made it even worse for me because I've been up playing that game called Doom 3. And you're probably asking, what does this have to do with anything? Well, being a kid, you used this, what do you call it? The days seem to last forever. And being a grown-up now, the days seem like they're short, and they get shorter and shorter. Like, I'll come home from work, I'll be up, and I'll see the sun rise before I even go to bed. And what does that happen to do with everything? Well, it just makes you, like, years ago you thought, God, the nights just seem to go forever until I go to sleep, or the days just seem to linger on for, like, it seemed like for years, even though it was like 24 hours. Now the days seem like they only last seconds. They really do. As you get older, it's almost like it's like being like like going down a hill. Like the momentum picks up. Like, the days just seem like you're picking up speed. Like you're on a roller coaster. Being the little kid would be trying to get to the top of the roller coaster. Being an older person would be going down at, that tremendous speed, would be how I feel as an adult. Like, you're going, like, that's how fast it feels like the days go to me. And yeah, that's like actually really scary. But that's the way I used to think. And I guess when you get older, you almost try not to think about it, but it's hard not to. But this all got started me thinking this way, by the way, simply from watching this trailer on this really, really scary horror movie trailer. Yeah, I said trailer, but yeah. It's amazing what will set me off. So anyway, and you know what? This being Saturday, I missed the good old days. When I would get up, my mom would take me over to this place called the King of Prussia Mall, which is still there, but it was all opened up. There was this bookstore called Jean's Bookstore. I'd go in there and I'd like dig up some Doctor Who stuff, or I'd go shopping with my mother. And then I would say, hey, you know what? You got to make sure I'm home by 3 o'clock, because at 3 o'clock, Doctor Who's on Channel 12 and Channel 23 at night. And I would be glued to the TV, and I would get pissed. If my parents had me out, my mother would have me out all day. I say, I got to be home at 3 p.m. to watch Doctor Who. I think that was the time on Channel 12. And I'd sit there, and I'd have like chocolate milk and these frosted cherry pies. They were like these really bad for you, but when you're a kid, your metabolism didn't really care either way. But yeah, there was these frosted cherry pies and apple pies I would eat, and I'd have a glass of chocolate milk, and I'd be like glued to the TV watching Doctor Who. That was my highlight for the weekend. And then what else was then Saturday nights watching Doctor Who on Channel 23. And then during the week, sometime at one point, sorry about that, I didn't realize I had my speaker on. At one point, I'd actually be watching Doctor Who on, there was another PBS station like 52 or something, and it was another one upstate Pennsylvania that you couldn't get in. It was very snowy, but you didn't care either. Like you were watching Doctor Who, but that was the highlight of my weekends and even my weeknights for the longest time. Like, you know, I wasn't into anything else, but you know, it was a nicer time. But yeah, the days even then, even going out to play outside when you're a kid, they seemed like they would just take forever. Now it's just like, oh my God, where have the days gone? The last 8 months seemed like it was one day to me. So yeah, you say, oh well, you know, the average person nowadays, if they're lucky, they're live to be like 90 or 100. But to say average person is going to live until 70s or 80s, well, I'm already close to pushing 50. So, yeah, that's really scary. So, anyway, I know I just keep on making it more and more depressing, folks, but that's just me, the way I think. So, that's why I get angry at people, though. If you wonder, why am I so angry at everybody? Well, that's why, because life, you know, is not even just a statement, it's the truth. Life is so short. And I know what people are saying, well, if life is so short, you should be thinking about other things than about other people and the way they treat you. Well, that's right, but we are social creatures. Well, what's that mean? Well, we, you know, the whole thing about being a human being is you need other people in your life. And if everybody is just pushing you away and making you out to be somebody you're not, that does not help it. That makes it actually worse. It makes your life impossible even want to live. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to try to get off the air now because it's getting late. It's actually going on 5 a.m. again. So anyway, folks, I kind of stepped away from the mic. Everyone, try to have a good weekend, even though I might have ruined it for you. And I am signing off for now on this Saturday morning at 5 a.m. Have a good one.